Hi, my name is Bailey Burnett, and here I got a curb shop deals, curb top special. We got a Pit Boss smoker. Okay, so I've kind of dug around in it before. I've done a little cleaning of it, and we're gonna put on a new fan in here. Bought on Amazon. It's an auger motor. We're gonna see if it works. Let's go ahead and let's throw it in here. Let me walk you through it. Walk kind of what I did. I should have taken more pictures, more videos of what it looked like before. But yeah, let's dive into it. Okay, so this Pit Boss smoker was left outside. You could kind of tell because in here is very lot of soot, a lot of stuff. The guy never cleaned this thing. The way I could tell it was the auger was that this auger does not run at all in here. And so, with it not running, I can show you, it doesn't spin. So you have to look down in these augers. If they don't spin, I put in new pellets to see if that would do the trick after I cleaned it. There's a bunch of gunk in there. It was ridiculous. It was terrible. Hit power here. And we're gonna go ahead and hit smoke over here. Okay, so this auger should be moving right now. So that's kind of my first tell sign, because here's the thing. It does smoke, and I'm gonna probably turn it off so it doesn't smoke in the garage until I'm ready to absolutely do this. Drill. And I wanna kind of show you here. There's screws on the sides of these. So the front, there's 2 screws here. There's a bunch of screws underneath. I took it off. I'm gonna show you when we put it back together if it worked. But there's also screws back here that we need to take out. There's 1 and 2 right here. So I'm gonna go ahead and just kind of set this here to the side, and we're gonna take this bad boy apart. Make sure you have that drill on left. Going lefty, lefty loosey, righty tighty, okay? It's important to note that there were 2 screws up here as well. I kind of forgot to show you. Once we put this back together, I'll kind of show you in reverse order. And back over here, there's 2 other screws, like I said before. Keep them in a good spot so we don't lose them. And sometimes you gotta hold these things because it will fall off. Sometimes. I kind of did the first time I did it, but some reason it didn't this time. We're gonna want to kind of pull up on it and out. And so I'm gonna try not to have to unhook all this stuff. You can kind of set it down. I would suggest grabbing a bucket. That's what I'm gonna do right now. I'm gonna grab a bucket. You want to try not to put as much wear on these wires, and a bucket, I wouldn't suggest a bucket. Grab a storage box or something that's kind of suspended up for a second so it's not as hard on these wires. Now, a lot of these wires are all going to be, they all have zip ties on them. I took my zip ties off when I dug into this the first time. Like I said, I should have videotaped me going through this process of taking it apart and cleaning it and seeing. But that's what we're here today for. We're here to just replace that guy, okay? So, with digging through this before, process elimination, it's this guy right here. I think it's just burnt out. We're gonna see if that's the case or not. And basically you just gotta take these and wiggle the wires out. And you just kind of force it back up through out of here. And so now what we're gonna need to do is we can take this whole assembly out with just 1 screw. There's a screw that's in the side of here. I'll show you. There's a screw right there. So we're gonna take that guy out. So that's how I got this thing cleaned. The auger cleaned out. You'll see a bunch of gunk in here come out because I have some stuff in there now. If I grab the wrong drill. Okay, like I said, very important. Keep those screws in a certain spot. Okay, you don't want to lose the screws. And then you just kind of can take this auger. Oh, making a mess. You're gonna make a mess. So that's you cleaning out this auger. It's gonna make a mess. Okay, these are brand new pellets. I was trying to see if it worked. Taking those old pellets out. But that's your auger right there. Okay. So we'll have to go over on the bench. And we're going to have to take these screws out and hopefully put that brand new one right in. Okay, so with taking out this, we're going to need two different tools. We're going to need a, looks like it's a 7/32 SAE Allen wrench and a 5/16 open end closed end wrench. I like the open end closed end wrench because right here is so difficult to get in there. So you're going to take that and we're going to remove it. Okay, you're just gonna loosen it off of there. Make sure you have good contact on here. Good contact to the nut and the bolt. What I think is wrong with this one is I think it got bent or it's fried. Okay. Get a pair of needle nose. Needle nose. You're gonna need them. Kind of hard. My hands sometimes can't get any small spaces. Boom, got her out. Okay, the old one out. Let's open this brand new one. Let's hope it's the same thing. I haven't even looked. It looks the exact same. Maybe this one's a little bit bigger. No. Nope, it was just, it looked like that. I think the fan's a little bit bigger. Maybe the motor's bigger. I don't know. We'll see. Oh, and this one already, it has the Allen wrench and stuff on it. And I think that's because this is it's a lock washer. And so, these are really only meant to be used once. However, if it didn't work or whatnot, I was just going to use what was here, but we got one. We're going to use this one. All right, you're going to line that puppy back up using that new screw. What do we bet they're the same or different? All right, line that guy up. Tighten it back up. Okay, so it's not too hard. It's just in here, so you line that guy right back up in there. Okay. Hopefully, let's lower you down a little bit. Righty tighty, lefty loosey. And my hand is in a terrible spot right now. But as you can tell, it's easier to get this in here than a socket. The reason I say that is because there's just not a whole lot of wiggle room in here. And that's it. That's all it is for the auger. Let's put it back. So, auger is just like this. Slide it in there. Okay, so note. Let me put a note on here. There's a little hole here. There's a little hole in the side here. Bring you around here. Okay, there's a hole there. Right there. Line it up. That's where that screw went. Keep that screw, like I said, put it in a spot you know exactly where it's at. And this thing just kind of floats in here. I don't know, it's weird. I would have thought, I don't know if there's a best way this thing goes in here. It's better this way. Nope, one way. It's a one-way ticket, man. like I said, let me show you here. Okay. So right there is that screw. Line it up, okay? I'm assuming there can be slop in here because there was nothing else holding it up. Can't go that way. Can't go that way. Yeah, it goes that way. Okay. So yeah, you can just rotate it in here. Line that screw up. You go in there. Okay. So we're gonna take that screw we took out. It's the only one that's not threaded out of the 4 screws, excuse me. Go in here. Tighten her up. Then unwind this. Bring it back through. I would probably do the little knot thing that they had. I don't know why. But that's how the last one was. Maybe so it don't fall out. Heck if I know. I'm just doing what was here. Then with that red wire that we unhooked before, we just lined it up. So if you can see here, there's a specific way that those need to go in there. Okay? Key factor. Okay? Otherwise, you're going to be sitting there trying to push it in, push it in, push it in, and it ain't going to go. Okay? Line them up. Plug them in. And when you do this, forgot to mention this. Make sure everything's unplugged. Safety first, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Now, with the mess that from the old pellets, bring it up. And let me move you around because you can see a little bit better here. Okay, so when you do this, you can see there's a lip there. This whole thing goes right up next to it. Okay? With those 4 screws you took out, you put them in the back here, these 2, and then the front 2. So, let's put them on. Change that drill to tighten because we're tightening everything now. You should have already had it on tight. Leave it. Make sure when you do screws like these that your threads are going in nicely. You don't want them hard to go in. That's key. You don't want to break things. You don't want to break these screws. Make this $25 fix you know, $10, who knows? Screws are expensive unless you find one where, you know, unless you have an assortment of screws kind of like I do, you know, every screw you can keep is a screw that, you know, you might need later. We all have a little screw loose up in our head sometimes. Alrighty, so let's plug this bad boy in. Now since we're all plugged in, we're gonna see if this guy works or not. We're gonna go ahead and hit the power button here. And we're gonna put some pellets in here. We're gonna see if that was the fix or not. Look at that, guys. You see it churning in there?
We are smoking. Leave this for about 15 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes. Just kind of smoke, but we are smoking for sure. Where that bad boy go?
Okay, so there's a couple different things that you have to take off to get to this piece. I'm gonna kind of record this backwards, maybe. This piece just goes right up in here. And I think it goes, let's see here. Where these 2 screws go. Okay. So now I know this way. This piece goes in like this. Move it around here. Goes up in here. There's a bunch of screws that came out of it before. Make sure we're on tight. You want to line them up.
Tighten these guys up. The Phillips. A lot of this is Phillips. All this. 484. We'll make sure I have the right screws for the top. So the top piece is this guy. I suggest using a bend when you do these kind of things because it just makes it nice. Okay, so this guy just sets the reset where you're at now. Let's go.
This piece here just goes in here. So you see that has the rivets. The rivets go out either way. Then we have screws for it. I believe they are just regular screws here. So we just kind of line it up with the holes. And I'll show you the holes in a second. The journey of the first screw there. Let me show you where those are at. Here. So there are screws in the front and there's screws in the back. So there's those screw holes there. That's where you line it up. And there's two right there in the back as well. So that's what we're lining up now to get the rest of this grate in here. So let's get the rest of the screws in. Not too hard, not too difficult. Getting that first one in for some reason was a pain. Let's get you down here. Let's get you closer here. Yeah, you kind of line up this hole here. Maybe, if you don't do what I do. Line that hole up. Tighten her down. Whatever remaining screws you have need to go on the bottom. Took out that one in here, I think. Let's put these grates back in and let's see what happens. Guy in there, put this guy back in there. Alright, so we got the grates back in. Kind of a struggle. I kind of just think it sits in there. I don't know. You know, it's going to work. I didn't clean off my grates as well as I probably should have. But kind of just a test run with everything back in here. Making sure everything runs smooth as butter. Alright, so wear gloves. I didn't. Don't know why I didn't. Alright, so let's make sure it's off. So we're gonna plug her in. And now what we're gonna do is we're gonna hit smoke here. And hit the power button. Kind of weird clicking noise. I don't know what that means. We're gonna kind of wait. We're gonna see if it's gonna smoke. I'm gonna clear off my hands and we're gonna wait for a second. So, update on here. Coming back a little bit later and just kind of walking through the rest of this. Auger worked. Everything on it worked great, as planned, as should. I'm really proud of how well it turned out. And so at the end of the day, I put this on Marketplace. Took 2 days, sold it, made $100. So I made $75 profit. So I made more than what I thought I was going to. So, you know, you take that 25 bucks, put it towards something else. So, you know, you see something on the side of the curb, maybe pick it up. You know, I do that a lot. With stuff that I think could be worth something. Don't pick up just anything. It's not what I'm saying. Pick up good stuff. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe. And see any other videos. If there's something you want to learn that I know, maybe I can make a video for you.